Okay, so good morning,
Good morning.
and this is our lecture for today. It's support, independence, and well-being. Okay. So the objective of this unit is for you to learn to recognize and support individual differences. So if you will be working in any facilities, each person in that facility, whether it is in the hospital or in the nursing home, each person there has their own different needs. Okay? So for you as a nurse, it is your responsibility to determine what are the needs of my patient, what are the needs of my residents. Okay? So by determining the needs of your patients or the needs of your residents, you need to do an assessment. Okay? Assessment is a vital tool for you to be able to know and determine, identify the needs of your patients or your residents. Know how to promote independence. Okay? So the people who are in the nursing home, like for example, we need to help them to maintain their independence as much as possible. Alright? Understand how to support physical well-being. Show how to support social, emotional, and psychological well-being, and gain the skills and knowledge required for this unit. Right? Under this, we have recognize and respect the person's social and cultural, spiritual differences. Okay? So, Australia is one of the most diverse country in the world. So as of now, I think they already have, according to the research, they already have 170 plus nationalities living in Australia. So they are one of the most diverse culture country after America, Canada, and now Australia. Okay, so those people who are living in Australia now came from different country, and each country has their own cultures and values. Okay, you're from Korea, you have your own values and culture. You're from China, you also have your own, and I'm from Philippines, and I also have my own. Okay, for us to be able to work harmoniously, we need to respect each other. We cannot impose what we believe in to our patients and to our residents. Whatever culture you have, you cannot impose for them to follow. Okay? We need to respect their cultures and values. Okay? Variation from one person to another. How do people differ from each other? Your client will come from all walks of life. Your role is to recognize these differences and provide them with the appropriate support. Okay? Think of two of your clients. How are they different? Part of recognizing and supporting individual differences is to recognize and respect your client's social and cultural and spiritual differences. Okay? As I have mentioned, we have our own values, beliefs. Okay? So for us to be able to understand our client, we need to respect them. Social differences are the complex differences between people based on their social characteristics. For example, race, class, age, power, and gender. Cultural differences are the differences between people based on the country, society, or community that they come from. Nationality and ethnicity, like what I have said before a while ago. From Korea, Philippines, and China, we have our own cultures. Okay? Spirituality differences can be about religion or an alternative beliefs system relating to spirit. Respecting these differences In what way can you respect these differences? Treat clients in a way you would expect to be treated. Okay? If you want to be treated well, with respect, then you need to treat your client with respect too. Okay? Embrace differences amongst client. Listen to your client. Acknowledge their views and opinions. Develop an understanding of them as an individual. Okay? That's the secret for you to be able to build rapport to your patients, to your residents. Then you need to respect them. Alright? Alright. Under this, avoid imposing own values and attitude on others and support the persons from to express their own identity and preferences. Okay? So what is your understanding about this? Avoid imposing own values and attitude on others and support the person to express their own identity and preferences. Anyone? What is your understanding about this? Okay, for example, I'm from the Philippines. I am Catholic. Okay? You're from Korea and your religious practice is? No. Okay? So you have no religion. And then I cannot impose my religion to you because you don't believe it. You don't believe in God. Well, I believe in God. So for us to be able to become, to work together, to build a good relationship, okay, I need to respect what you believe in. And then for you also need to respect mine. So that's the essence. Okay? I cannot impose, if you are my client, I cannot impose, you need to pray and ask God for forgiveness. So I cannot do that because you don't believe in my God. Alright? So instead of imposing what I want for my client, I need to assess how can I help you. Okay? So let the client speak for themselves, and you are there to help them. Not to impose what you believe. Not to impose what you believe in. Okay? Values and principles, qualities you attach worth to, they guide the way that you live your life. Attitude can be treated to belief, feelings, describe what you think is the proper way. No right or wrong values or attitudes. Okay? Just because you have to respect someone else doesn't mean you cannot have your own. Think about your own values and attitudes. Okay? Avoiding imposing values and attitudes on others. Under this, we have support should be based on clients' values, not yours. So whatever your clients believe in, then you need to support them. Alright? Self-awareness is the best tool you can use to avoid imposing your values, attitudes onto others. Know your own values and attitude. Keep help to work effectively with your clients. Adopt a neutral position. A neutral attitude lets you keep values in check. Listen to acknowledge clients without bias. Right? Supporting clients to express their own identity and preferences. Okay. Everyone has the right to express their own identity. You may need to help your client express their concern. They're allowed to be themselves without judgment. Okay. Get them to share their identity and preferences. Then you can support them in expressing them. Who are they? What makes them unique? Example, allowing them to wear what they want, even if you think yellow pants and a blue jumper don't like right together. Okay? So when you ask your resident, okay, to go to shower, you ask them, what do you want to wear today? You want to wear this or you want to wear this? So in that sense, you are giving your resident a time to choose what they think is the best for them. You are giving them a sense of independence. Okay? Next, consider the person's individual needs, stage of life, development, and strength when engaging in support activities. Under that, we have individual needs. Okay? So as I have mentioned a while ago, each of your patients, each of your residents has their own needs, has their own individual needs. So as a nurse who will be looking after them, it's your responsibility to know what are the needs of your clients. Alright? No two clients are the same. Their needs will differ from each other. Important to consider individual needs when engaging in support activities. Consider basic human needs as a start. Use Maslow hierarchy of needs: psychological, physical needs, and psychological needs, safety needs, social needs, self-esteem, and self-actualization. Also consider spiritual and cultural and sexual needs. Even though your residents are already 90 years old, they already old enough, but there are times that they are still sexually preoccupied. Okay? So you as a female nurses who will be looking after that type of residents, you need also to protect yourself, because sometimes they touch your private part. Right? Maslow hierarchy of needs, we have from the bottom, psychological, physiological needs. Those are the things that we need to consider, okay, when you are looking after the patients. Safety needs is the second. Social needs is the third. Self-esteem is the fourth. And self-actualization is the last. Right? Stages of life and development. When engaging in support activities, you will need to consider and understand the practical stage, a particular stage that your client is in their life and development. Okay? This is the stages of life and development. We have the infant. So when the mother delivered the baby, so it's infant from 0 to 1 years old. Okay? Child, adolescent, young adult, adult, middle age, independent elder, vulnerable elder, dependent elder, and end of life. So for this in this stage, okay, when the elderly enters the nursing home for the first time, they might be independent elderly. They can still walk, they can still change their own clothes, they can still shower themselves, and they live in hostel, right? And then after several months or after 2 years, 3 years, their health becomes deteriorate. Okay, vulnerable elder. The mobility is no longer stable. They can fall anytime, right? And when they become vulnerable, next time dependent. Okay, they only depend themselves to the help of nurses who are looking after them. Okay? And they can no longer even change their pants. They can no longer even walk by themselves without nurse assistant. Okay? And end of life, when they are already on bed, when they become bedridden, so the nurses need to turn them from side to side every 2 hours to prevent from pressure sore. And then when they deteriorate, that's the end of their life. Alright? Recognize and support individual differences. Recognize, respect, and accommodate the person's expression of identity and sexuality as appropriate in the context of their age or stage of life. Expression of identity. Under this, we have important to allow client to express their own identity. Recognize and respect and accommodate expression. Clients should be allowed to be themselves. How can you support clients' expression of identity? How can you accommodate them? Example, if a client likes to be alone, then let them be alone. Okay? They should not be forced to participate in a group activities if they don't want to. They would be happier in their own space doing their own things. Okay? If the client refuses to participate in any activities that you organize, then you need to respect them. However, as a nurse, you need to explain to them what are those activities that you organize for them. Right? But if they still refuse, then let them be. You need to respect them. Right? Expression of sexuality. Clients should be able to express their sexuality too. Recognize, respect, and accommodate expressions. Clients need to be freedom of express sexuality. Shouldn't fear being judged or discriminated against. Allow client to open up and talk to you. Okay, different clients express sexuality in different ways. Don't make sexuality a taboo subject. Okay, reject, accommodate expression in a way that is appropriate to age and stage of life. Okay, so expression of sexuality is fine. However, if you think that it's no longer appropriate for you, okay, you can tell the resident or you can tell your patient, I'm sorry, but I think what you are trying to say to me is not appropriate for me. Okay, it's fine. If you think that for example, if you are looking after the male elderly, and he tried to express, okay, and you find it very uncomfortable for you as a female, then you can tell to your patient, I'm sorry, sir. I think what I understand what you are trying to imply. However, I think it's not appropriate for me as a female.
Is it okay to tell for patient directly? Because
Yes, it is.
I think it's better to talk to manager and supervisor.
Yeah, you can talk to him directly and let your manager be informed. Right? I'm sorry, sir. I think I know what you are trying to express. However, I think it's not appropriate for me as a female. Right? You can say no. Right? Next, promote and facilitate opportunities for participation in activities that reflect the person's individual, physical, social, cultural, and spiritual needs. Under that, we have promote and facilitate opportunities for clients to facilitate in activities that reflect their physical needs. Example, walk in the countryside, swimming area, yoga. Social needs, chess club, bingo nights, and weekends away. Cultural and spiritual needs, we have visiting museum, putting up a Christmas tree, visiting place or of worship. Right? So those are the activities that may reflect the client individual needs. Okay? So if you think that your clients need to have physical exercise, okay, you can ask them for walking. Okay? And when the resident or the patient is walking, you are on their side to assist them. Right? Question? Question? Next, support the persons to identify and acknowledge their own strength and self-care capacity. This is under promote independence. Promoting independence, we have independence is considered to be one of the most important attributes that a person can possess. Essential to promote independence in clients, encourage them to do as much as possible for themselves, get them to do what they feel comfortable with. Level of independence will depend on clients and their particular situation. Okay, let's discuss this. Essential to promote independence in client. Okay, so we need to encourage them, okay, to participate in any activities that we organize for them. We need to encourage them, okay, to move and to move around. Okay, we need to encourage them to get up. When it's already time for eating, we need to encourage them to eat and use spoon and fork and eat by themselves. Okay? Because if we are not doing that, the client will depend on us. And their independence will not be utilized because they are only depending for the nurses. Don't spoil your residents too much. Don't spoil your patients too much. We need to help them. We need to help them to maintain their independence as much as possible. Alright? Get them, encourage them to do as much as possible for themselves. Get them to do what they feel comfortable with. Okay? And level of independence will depend on the clients and their particular situation. Clients' strengths. First step in promoting clients' independence is to help them identify and acknowledge their own strength. If you will be organizing an activity for your client, you also need to determine their strength. Is my client can still walk? Is my client can still run? Is my client can still jump? Okay, those are the things that you need to identify so that you can create an activity that will suit to the needs of your client. Right? Care and support should draw on this strength, value, skills, knowledge, and abilities of clients. Allow them to lead, to be in control of care and support. Strength are the elements that can help clients meet their needs. For example, their personal resources, skills, and knowledge. Next, their social network and its abilities and potentials. Self-care capacity. Under this we have help clients identify and acknowledge their self-care capacity. Self-care capacity is related to their ability manage their own health, take care of themselves, identify what they need or want, take necessary steps to get what they need or want, ask for what they need or want. Okay? Those are the things that you need to determine Those are the things that you need to identify. Those are things that you need to know and to understand. Okay? Question? Okay, next, assist the person to identify opportunities to utilize their strength while communicating the importance of using available support when required. Under this we have, what happened?
Yes, I dropped.
Oh.
Broken.
Okay, next is to utilizing strength. Assist your client to identify opportunities to utilize their strength. What task give them chance to be independent? How can your client use their strength to contribute to their care and support? How can they use this strength to improve their particular situation? Match task to clients' abilities and skills, and what kind of task can they manage or excel at? Okay, so as a nurse, those things you need to identify. Who among my residents, who among my patients are good in playing balls? Who among my residents, who among my patients are good in, what do you call this?
Painting.
Arts and paintings. Or who among my clients are good in stitching? Is that what you call it? Knitting.
Painting.
Okay? So those are the things that you need to identify. And for those patients who are fond of playing ball, you need to group them to one. And for those patients who are fond of knitting, you need to regroup them so that they have their own interests, so that they can understand each other, okay? And they can mingle to each other because they have common interests to each other. So that's your responsibility to know the strength of your patients, to know the strength of your residents. Okay? Using available support. Under this we have all the clients should use any opportunities to utilize their strength that arise. They should also use any available support when required. Your job is to communicate the importance of using this support. Just because they have the capability of doing some tasks and can use their strength in a variety of ways, it doesn't mean that they should refuse or ignore any level of support to get all together. Okay? Next, promote independence. Alright. Under this, we have provide information and assistance to the person in order to facilitate access to support services and resources when needed. Okay? Support services and resources. Under this, we have you need to provide clients with the relevant information and assistance in order to facilitate access to the support services and resources. Support services and resources may include pension, okay, veteran facilities, acute care, coffee mornings, and support programs. Next, promote independence. Provide support that allows the person to self-manage their own service delivery as appropriate. Under that, we have supporting clients to self-manage on services and delivery. Important that clients are independent. Should you have a central role in managing condition, should make their own decisions. Provide support that allows clients to do this. Clients are experts in how they want to live their life. Support them in learning about their condition and developing skills needs to manage health. And think about different ways you can support them in a way that allows clients to self-manage their own service delivery. Next, encourage a person to build strength and maintain independence. Under that we have independence. We know how important client independence is. Past few chapters have explored how independence can be promoted. Encourage and allow clients to be independent. Clients should be fully involved in design, development, and delivery of their care and support. You should give clients just enough support and promote their ability to do as much for themselves as possible. Next, encouraging independence. How you can encourage clients to build strength and maintain their independence. It may involve acknowledging they have individual pathways, working with clients to create a plan and identify needs, goals, and aspirations, teaching clients, encouraging them to learn new skills, and encouraging clients to make own decisions and respecting their privacy. Okay, question? Question? You understand?
No.
No. That's the problem. Okay, we have a problem. Okay, support physical well-being. Promote and encourage daily living habits that contribute to healthy lifestyle. What is a healthy lifestyle? Good healthy lifestyle are associated with making wise choices, and education about health, regular physical fitness, good personal hygiene and oral health, adequate sleep and relaxation, proper nutrition and hydration, managing stress effectively, and absence of bad habits and or addictions. Helping clients to achieve healthy lifestyle. Encouraging clients to eat nutritious and balanced diet. Encouraging clients to have an active lifestyle. Encouraging clients to get enough sleep, and encouraging clients to manage stress effectively. Okay. Next is support and assist the person to maintain a safe and healthy environment. Under that we have client will need to maintain a safe and healthy environment. This will enable them to be independent, helps keep them busy. They can take pride in their surroundings, will have physiological benefits. Important to encourage them to maintain their environment. When it isn't possible, you may need to support and assist them in doing so. Okay, environment we have critical in care and support settings. Essential to health of workers and clients. It can reduce risk to health, can improve client safety. Your clients have the right to a clean environment. You should encourage, support, and assist them in maintaining their environment.
Is it our job?
Yes.
We have a cleaner.
Yes, there is a cleaner, but you as a nurse, you need to identify and determine if the environment is safe for your client. Then if you think that the environment is no longer safe for your client, you need to document what you have seen, report it to your supervisor, and inform them so that your supervisor can coordinate to the maintenance to repair any unsafe environment that may bring danger to your patients or to your residents. Okay? It is not our job to clean. However, it is our responsibility to ensure that our client is safe. Right? Comfortable environment, we have ensuring client have physical comfort, ease, and relaxation. Environment should be stress and anxiety free. Clients should feel safe and secure. comfort will be considered differently by client. Listen to and understand their specific needs in relation to comfort. Provide them with relevant support and assistance. Okay? 3.3, we have identify hazard and support and report according to organization procedures. So as I have mentioned a while ago, if you already seen in the environment that it will not safe to your client, then you need to report, make a document and report it to your supervisor. Right? Hazard, if something with the potential to cause injury or disease to people, damage to property or disruption to productivity. Hazard can arise from the workplace environment such as use of equipment and appliances, poor environment layout, inappropriate system or procedures, human behavior. Okay? Reporting hazard, you have a duty of care to protect colleagues and your clients from hazards. Will be policies and procedures in place within your own organizations for identifying and reporting them. Make sure you are up to date with the relevant training and are aware of these procedures. Okay, so if you're already working in the hospital, whether you will be working in the hospital or in the healthcare facilities like nursing home, they have what we call it mandatory training. Okay, mandatory training is the compulsory training that you need to attend to for you to be able to be updated in all procedures. Okay, so if the training will take 7 hours, then the facility will pay you 7 hours based on your hourly rate. Okay? This is to ensure that all the staff working in that facility are performing their duties and responsibility within the standard of care. This is to ensure the public that all the staff in this facility are competent enough to do their responsibilities. Okay, that's why they are spending money for you to go for training. Okay, so that you will be updated in all the procedures that they have. Right? Next, identify variation in a person's physical condition and report according to organization procedures. Recognizing indications that the person's physical situation is affecting their well-being and report according to organization's procedures. Variation of client's physical condition. Under this we have, look for changes in client's physical condition. These changes may include aches and pains, client reporting feeling unwell, nail status, oral health anomalies, skin tone and color, weight gain or weight loss. Okay, so this is when the independence of your client becomes hampered. When they feel something pains in their bodies, they will tell to the nurses, "Oh nurse, oh darling, I cannot get up. I have a very terrible pain in my knee. I have a very terrible pain in my low back." Okay? So, as a nurse, you need to inform your manager and tell to your manager that, "Sister, my patient has having pain in their knees. The knees of my patient is swollen. Okay? She has a lower back pain and she cannot move." Okay? So that your manager can coordinate to the geriatric doctor and the doctor will come to check the patient. Okay? Nail status, we are allowed to cut the fingernails. However, we are not allowed to cut the toenails. Okay? So you need to be careful. Alright? We are allowed to cut the nails, fingernails, but we are not allowed to cut the toenails of your patients.
Why?
Because,
Private?
no. In Australia, it's only the podiatry cut the toenails. Nurses are not allowed to cut the toenails. Because when the patient get old and they have a poor circulation in their lower extremities, and then when you cut the skin, or it will take time to heal again. Okay, so for the podiatry, they have special nail cutters to cut the toenails of the residents. Okay, so we are not allowed to cut. Okay, we can only cut the fingernails, but we are not allowed to cut the toenails. So you need to remember that. Okay. Otherwise, you will be in danger. You will be in trouble. Signs to look out for include not being able to look after themselves, confused, upset, sad, or depressed, extreme fatigue, character, humor, etc. has changed, not partaking in usual social activities, loss of appetite, agitated, or irritated. Okay, so those are the things that you need to look at to all your patients and your residents. If you notice one of these to your residents, you need to document and inform your manager straight away. (3.6) We have identify physical health situation beyond scope of own role and report to relevant person. Okay. Under this, we have sometimes client physical health situation will be beyond scope of your own role. Okay, so if it is not within the scope of your practice, then you need to coordinate it with your supervisor so that your supervisor will be coordinate to the proper person. For example, the concern of your residents is with regards to her mobility. Okay, as a nurse, it's not we can assess, but we cannot recommend. Okay, all we need to do is to inform the physiotherapist to make a further assessment, and then they will recommend what is the proper mobility aid that necessary for that particular patient. Alright? Need to report it to someone relevant, someone better qualified, and someone who can deal with it appropriately. For example, supervisor, manager, doctor, health professional, or colleague. Okay, next, 4.1 is support social, emotional, and psychological well-being. Under this, we have promote self-esteem and confidence through use of positive and supportive communication. Promoting self-esteem and confidence, we have always treat clients with respect. Treat them as an important member of society. Make them feel empowered and confident. Show them that they have the ability to do things. Can promote self-esteem and confidence through positive and supportive communication. Show them that their opinion matters. Never judge, and let them solve their own problems. Okay? Example of positive and supportive communication. Under this, we have giving clients time and space to talk. Listening to client effectively. Showing interest in what your clients have to say. Valuing clients' opinions and thoughts. Never judging. Reassuring clients when they need it. Being helpful, kind, and compassionate. Being optimistic. and showing encouragement and being constructive with your advice. Next, contribute to the person's sense of security through use of safe and predictable routines. Under this, we have using safe and predictable routines, essential in case and support settings. Provide clients with continuity and structure, contributes to their sense of security, provide them with comfort and control, help clients cope and change, help put clients at ease. Clients thrive on familiarity and rely on their routines. Routines should be relevant to clients, not for you. Okay? So when you make a care plan for your clients, make sure that the care plan is made by you for the benefit of your clients. Okay? Not you made the care plan that will lessen your workload. Okay? You need to make a care plan that will help to your clients, that will benefit to your clients, not will benefit to you. Okay? Example aspect of a routine, we have having a cup of coffee every morning, visiting the market every Friday morning, getting into bed at 10 p.m. every night, phoning their daughter every Wednesday at 6 p.m., having a shower in the evening rather than the morning, doing their ironing on a Tuesday afternoon, and reading the local newspaper every morning, watching their favorite show on a Monday evening. Those are the examples of routine that you can create for your patient or residents. Encourage and facilitate participation in social, cultural, spiritual activities using existing and potential new networks and as per the person's preferences. Social activities, under this we have facilitate client participation in social activities. Social interaction can have many benefits. Example, client will be happier and motivated. That's why we organize some activity for our clients so that they can communicate to each other, they can build rapport to other patients, to other residents, okay? And they can create their own friends because of the activity that we create for them. All right. Clients should remain in touch with friends and families. Clients should make a new friends, encourage them to participate in social activities like choir, weekend away, arts and craft, group, and coffee mornings. Cultural and spiritual activities, we have important to facilitate client participation in cultural and spiritual practices and celebrations. Example, attending place of worship every Sunday. So if your clients are Christians, so they are fan of going to church every Sunday. Okay? So you need to organize to accompany them to church every Sunday so that they can worship. Okay? That's part of cultural and spiritual belief. Okay? Attending weddings, christening, and funerals, identify the current practices and beliefs of someone in order to help meet their needs. 4.4, we have identify aspects of supporting a person's well-being outside scope of knowledge, skills, and or job role, and seek appropriate support. Under that, we have things outside own scope of knowledge, skills, and or job role. There may be aspects of supporting clients' well-being that are outside the scope of your knowledge, skills, or job role. Shouldn't attempt it, but don't ignore it. So what do you mean by this? If you think that the procedure is already need to be done to your client, however, this is not in your duties and responsibility. Okay? Do not ignore it. However, do not do it because it's not your job description. It's not within your job description. Okay? You need to inform the manager or your supervisor that the procedure is already due for your client. Okay? Instead, report it or seek the relevant support. Find someone who can provide the client with the support that they need. Okay? So that your manager can coordinate to those persons who are qualified to do the procedure for your patients. Alright? 4.5, we have identify variation to a person's well-being and report according to organization procedures. Under that, we have variation to facilitate well-being. Okay? You will have the chance to get to know clients. You will understand their character. You will able to notice any changes that occur. You will be able to identify any variation in their well-being. Example, client may become depressed, sad, or upset. When you notice a variation in client's well-being, you should report it according to your organization procedure. Okay? If you already notice some changes to your client that is for you is unusual, because you know your client, you know your patient better than other nurses who are not looking after them. Okay? So if you already noticed some changes that is unusual, then you need to document it and inform to your supervisor. Okay? So that the supervisor can coordinate and give further assessment. So that we can come up with a care plan that will suit to the needs of your patients. Alright? 4.6, we have identify any cultural or financial issues impacting on the person's well-being. Cultural issues, example of cultural issues that may impact a client's well-being include the inability to visit their place of worship. Okay? The inability to participate in relevant ceremonies. The inability to wear clothes expressing their culture. Okay? They may not be being given the correct food, being judged, discriminated against based on culture. They may feel unable to express their cultural identity. Okay? Question. Financial issues. We have financial issues that impact well-being may include the inability to pay their rent or bills, the inability to pay for their care and support, the inability to pay for food, complicated benefits, victim of financial abuse or fraud, the inability to provide for their family, job loss, non-existent savings. Okay, 4.7, identify persons, risk, and protective factors in relation to mental health. We have mental health. Okay, good mental health is essential for clients receiving care and support, particularly those striving to be independent. Good mental health can help them cope with change and achieve their goals and potential. Poor mental health can have major impact. Important to identify clients, risk, and protective factors in relation to mental health. Risk factors, we have conditions that increase likelihood of developing a mental health problem. Risk factor can include chronic illness, low self-esteem, poor social skills, poor physical health, abuse or neglect, and socioeconomic disadvantage. And protective factors, we have conditions that decrease likelihood of developing a mental health problems. Protective factors can include strong cultural identity and ethnic pride, supportive, caring friends and family, economic security, good coping style, social skills, and optimism. Okay. Next is 4.8, recognize and report possible indicators of abuse or neglect and report accordingly to organization procedures. 4.9, identifies a situation beyond the scope of your own role and report to relevant person. Abuse and neglect, financial exploitation. So we already discussed this for several times already, okay? Physical abuse, emotional abuse, sexual abuse, neglect or abandonment, healthcare fraud. Indicators of abuse and neglect, changes in client personality, odd behavior, unexplained injuries, caregiver refusing to let client be seen alone, being left unclean, unsafe living conditions, sudden changes in financial situation, evidence of over/under medication. Question. Okay, you can have your break.